This guy is Steven Reece Lewis. He's the CEO of the now defunct crypto platform Hyperverse. And there's one big problem. Steven Reece Lewis does not exist. It's a fake name, fake identity with a very impressive fake resume that was created for the purposes of pumping this scam token, and nobody has been able to figure out who this guy really is. Or should I say, nobody special has been able to figure out who this guy really is. And considering the fact that he helped steal over $1.3 billion from thousands of unsuspecting investors last year, well, I'm going to tell you who he really is, where he really is, and how I found him. What's up, guys? I'm nobody special, and this whole thing started yesterday when I saw this article in The Guardian. Chief executive of collapsed crypto fund Hyperverse does not appear to exist. And in this article, Sarah Martin decided to chase down all the details that were in Steve Reece Lewis's resume and found out that nobody was able to confirm anything about this guy. Supposedly, Lewis used to work for Goldman Sachs and Adobe. Sarah Martin investigated with those companies and found out that they had never heard of the guy. In his resume, Lewis also claims to have a BA in economics from Leeds University and an MBA in finance from Cambridge. And Sarah Martin chased down both of those leads and found out that neither school has ever heard of the guy. Certainly, he never earned a degree there. There's a couple of other crypto sleuths out there on YouTube and on various blogs that have been trying to expose this guy for a while now. They've all been able to prove that Steven Reece Lewis doesn't exist, but nobody has been able to find out who the guy really is. Now, before we get into who Steven really is and how I found him, understand this was not just a little crypto scam. This was actually the biggest crypto scam in all of 2022. The Hyperverse, all the way over there, stole nearly $1.3 billion last year. And as you can see from this chart behind me that was done by Chainalysis.com, none of the other scams last year even come close to the amount of money that was stolen from Hyperverse investors. And creating a fake CEO out of thin air also wasn't the only trick that the Hyperverse used to lure in unsuspecting investors. Check out this video from Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris here, and I want to give a shout out to Hyperverse. Under the leadership of CEO Steven, Hyperverse will be the leader of metaverse space. This is the dawn of a new beginning with a metaverse odyssey with endless possibilities. Keep up all the great work and just know you are Chuck Norris approved. Your friend, Chuck Norris.
As it turns out, being able to divide by zero and dribble a bowling ball are not the only tricks up Chuck Norris's sleeve. Chuck Norris also sells celebrity endorsements on Cameo.com, where up until yesterday anyway, if you had enough money, you could pay Chuck Norris to wish you a happy birthday, or, if this applies to you, endorse your fraudulent crypto token. And it wasn't just Chuck Norris that was helping to pump the Hyperverse. Even Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak was getting in on the action via Cameo.com. Here he is endorsing the crypto token while also proving that you can drive a bus up Steve Wozniak's nostrils. So after finding out that these guys stole $1.3 billion last year and that it looks like so far they're getting away with it because nobody has been able to figure out who Steve Reece Lewis is, I set out to track down this guy myself. And I started here at PimEyes.com. This is a facial recognition app. You may recall I also used this to track down our buddy Josh Liebold from the Amazon crypto scam a few weeks ago. Now, when I first ran that picture of Steve Reece Lewis through this facial recognition software, I got a lot of hits like these right here. These are other crypto sleuths, YouTubers, and bloggers wondering the same thing. Who is this guy? And of course, they're all putting his picture in the thumbnail. So this picture came up over and over again. But as you scroll down, you start to get into some other pictures that aren't quite so innocent. Turns out our buddy Steve is a big fan of the nightlife in Bangkok, Thailand. Here he is a few years ago at a pub called the Australian. And there's plenty of other pictures of our fake CEO lingering drunkily in the background of various nightclubs and bars in and around Bangkok. But none of these pictures of our fake CEO gave me any information that might lead me to his identity. I was able to establish that this guy either travels often to or lives in Bangkok, but still no clues about who he is. So I decided to change tactics a little bit, and I started to focus on the people that Steve was talking to or hanging out with in these pictures. Maybe they would give me some clues as to the identity of who this guy really is. And it turns out that besides enjoying a good cocktail, our buddy Steve here is also a big fan of posing for pictures with escorts and adult film stars at these bars in Thailand. So again, I had to shift tactics a little bit. Step one was to sterilize the heck out of my browser history, and step two was to focus on facial recognition of the other male individuals in these pictures with Steve, and it was this picture here that would ultimately lead me to Steve's identity. Shown here pulling down his eyelids is our respectful, credible, Leeds and Cambridge educated CEO. But that guy in the middle, when I ran his face through the facial recognition software, that's when things started to get interesting. You see, like our fake CEO, this guy also enjoys the nightlife and the company of the ladies in Bangkok, but this guy also appears to have something of a professional history as well. And as I started clicking on some of these images and tracing them to their websites, I found out that his name was Chris Mooten, and he also lives in Bangkok, Thailand. And it turns out Steve's buddy Chris is a fellow tuber. Chris Mooten has his own YouTube channel. He's only got 7 subscribers and 3 videos from about 9 years ago, but there he is, the guy who posed for a picture with our fake crypto CEO at a bar in Bangkok, Thailand. Let's see what we learn about this guy. Not a lot of interesting stuff in his videos, but I did notice some of the channels that he subscribes to. The Crypto Prophet. That's interesting because remember, this is a crypto scam is why we're looking at this guy to begin with. There's Doug Polk. He's a pretty popular crypto YouTuber. Ready, Set, Crypto, Crypto Banner, Shitcoin Talk. So we know this guy hangs out with our fake crypto CEO at the bar in Thailand, and we know he's into crypto. This told me I was on the right track, so I decided to dig in a little further to Chris Mooten. And so I went to Chris's Facebook page. I decided, hey, let's see what other pictures this guy had been posting. Maybe let's find out who his friends are. And that, folks, was our aha moment, because here we go. In Chris Mooten's Facebook page and his feed, there's our boy, fake CEO Steve, sitting down for a lovely lunch with Chris Mooten, the guy he was drinking with at that bar in Thailand. Now, unfortunately, nobody was tagged in this picture, so it wasn't as simple as just hovering over the guy's face to find out who he was. But just for the heck of it, I noticed there was 5 likes on this image. You don't think this guy would have liked his own image, and sure enough, when you click on the likes, there you go, the second number liking his own picture is a guy named Steve Harrison.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Now, before I made this video, I wanted to be crystal clear that this was definitely our guy. I didn't want to shine a spotlight on an innocent man and end up ruining somebody's life. So here's a couple of side-by-side pictures of our boy Steve-O and our fake CEO, Steve Reece Lewis. And it's pretty obvious that we're talking about the same guy, but just in case you're still not totally convinced, listen to this audio from the Steve Reece Lewis fake CEO promo, and then compare that to the accent and the inflection in the voice of Steve Harrison in this video from his Facebook page.
There are multiple ongoing developments within the Hyperverse ecosystem, and we are very excited to slowly unreveal and share them with you.
So let's do something live. I'm currently training for Spartan in 3 weeks. I'm going down there to do the trail run, which is 10K, and I think I've done this course before.
So when comparing the pictures side by side and listening to the voice one after the other, it is crystal clear, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that Steve Reece Lewis, the fake CEO of the scam Hyperverse that stole $1.3 billion, is in fact Steve Harrison, aka Steve-O, originally from the UK, now living in Bangkok, Thailand. And when Steve is not bar hopping in Bangkok, he spends his days at a company called Move to What Moves You, which he founded in 2016. It appears to be a real estate consultancy firm. Here's the Facebook page for that firm, and there are some pictures of Steve helping people find houses in Bangkok, presumably. And it looks like this Facebook page went dormant around the middle of 2020, where presumably Steve decided to spend a little less time helping people find homes and decided to get into stealing billions of dollars via crypto frauds instead. So there you have it, folks. Steve Reece Lewis, the fake fictional CEO of the crypto fraud Hyperverse, is really Steve Harrison, who lives in Bangkok, Thailand, and who used to be a real estate consultant at Move to What Moves You. Now that Steve-O here has been put on a silver platter and handed off to you guys in law enforcement, hey, Bangkok police, Interpol, FBI, all you guys, this guy helped steal $1 billion. Someone want to maybe go talk to him, knock on his door, say hello? Be sure and tell him nobody sent you. Till next time, live small and dream big.